So, welcome everybody to the Premier League Cricket Show, and it is week 6 of the Premier Leagues, and it's fair to say it was a scorcher. Mr. Hugh Newsom, did you get burned?
No, because I actually put sun cream on for once. Yeah, no, it was a
Absolutely.
rarity. Yeah, I was very careful this weekend. It's no, just as like to get sunburnt on a cold, bright day, but you just forget, don't you, when it's cold? So, no, lathered in sun cream, not burnt for the first time in a while. So, no, all good. Very nice.
And
It was too.
and as a wicket keeper, we have to ask the obvious question: short sleeve or long sleeve?
Well, everyone hates me, but I wear short sleeves because I completely don't understand this prejudice is what it is. Like it's like pineapple on pizza. Everyone like, go, oh my God, how dare you have pineapple on pizza? So what if you've got short sleeves? It's cooler. I'm warm. I want short sleeves. Everyone else can sod off.
And that'll be the obviously the trail for this show, without a doubt,
Yep.
definitely. So, hey, we had a bumper weekend because we had all day Saturday, we had the Lancashire League on Sunday, and then a
Mm.
number of leagues played on their bank holiday Monday as well. So over 200 games, 201 games this weekend, which means 81,000 plus runs scored, and the most important numbers, as we always know, 84 centuries, 325 half centuries and 59 fifers. But the one that I always love, we still had another tie. I mean, there's a weekly tie at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah. I don't know if it's more than normal. I'm going to have to come back and check, but yeah, it seems to be a regular
It,
tie going on. I mean, there should be quite a lot of ties really
yeah,
um, in cricket, but it doesn't necessarily seem so. But yeah, yeah, we like a good tie.
yeah, it definitely feels more than normal because I don't seem to remember saying it every week bar one in the last couple of years. It just seems to be week in, week out. We do have to look at a number of games in particular, as well as our focused leagues for this week. And I've got to go to one game straight away to have a look at, which I think, not only was it the fastest finish of the weekend, of the game between Longridge and Garstang in the Northern Premier League, but it had one of the most remarkable set of bowling figures of the weekend. Not the best because it was only a six for, but Lahiru Madhushankar of Garstang, 6 overs for 5 runs, 6 maidens, 10.1 overs. Who says the sun brings the runs, AQ?
I assume there was a Asterix the Gaul style cloud hovering over the Northern Premier League. If there's going to be a little rain cloud hovering over a cricket pitch, it's going to be there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Madhushankar. What's amazing about Madhushankar is he's not a left-arm spinner. He's a seamer. And I watched a bit of the video. He's a handful, isn't he? So he's a very experienced cricketer. Played a lot of professional cricket. So it's kind of fair enough that somebody like him is pretty good. But yeah, 10 overs, 6 maidens, 6 for 5 is not bad. Disappointed with his wide though. Very disappointed.
Do you mean he let one go?
Maybe he was trying for a leg side stumpy. I don't know.
Yeah, and now I'm guessing, I am thinking aloud. Summit Ruaka is the pro at Garstang. So I'm guessing Lahiru is playing in place of him at the moment, because I can't see him on the card. And obviously, Summit would be a regular in that side otherwise, wouldn't he?
No, he's played for Garstang. He's 9 games for Garstang this season. A useful average of 66 with the bat and a bowling average of 11. So that was his best figures, but still got
Okay.
24 wickets in 77 overs. So yeah, he's proving to be somewhat of a handful, shall we say?
Just a wee bit, definitely. Hey, let's have a look at one of our leagues to start with. And we have to start with the one league who we've been waiting for, sorry, until the 23rd of May to actually start playing league cricket. Welcome to the Premier Leagues. Once again, the Northamptonshire Premier League. They're back. And I think it's fair to say it's an interesting day when you look at some of the results there, wasn't it, Hugh?
Yeah, I've not studied them in detail actually. It's I've just got so used to the Northamptonshire League not being on my radar that I actually didn't look up the results for the Northampton Prem over the weekend. But they're back on there. But it doesn't take long to just have a scan through and quickly see a few of the regulars turning up. Harrison Craig 44, and then with his brother getting 4 for 29 as well. Although Harrison only got 0 for 36 So he didn't get with the ball. But yeah, finding Dolben getting a win. Surprise, surprise. They started well. Old Northampton's actually beating Oundle was I suppose the surprise of the day
Yeah.
in that league. But yeah, just the usual names rising to the top already. But I hope they've enjoyed their T20 sojourn. That's great? They had a T20 start.
Yeah.
Maybe they just assumed everyone was going to get ready and then jump straight into the T20 blast, get pro gigs straight out of the Northampton Premier League. Maybe that's why they did it.
100%. They obviously played through all the cold weather with T20, and now that the weather's warmed up, let's go and play those full games, shall we? Let's play 50 overs, definitely. Highlights
Perfect
for
time.
me, looking at and he's been in the runs all the way through the season so far. Geddington, Jack Lee's 97. He's been scoring some runs for them already in the T20 as well, but not enough to beat Findon Dolben, who obviously won the title last year. Oundle Town will be disappointed, I think, that. Yeah, I think to be bowled out and lose relatively comfortable to old Northamptonians, that to me is a bit more of a surprise. But then
Yeah,
the
at
big
home as
run,
well.
yeah, the big runs there were Peterborough Town with 310, and Nicholas Green with 115, and Josh Smith, the captain, with 89 runs there, getting them well ahead of Lorrington, who couldn't even get close, 60 runs behind there. But number of Centurions, as I say, Nicholas Green, Ryan Hawthorne with a ton in that game there, and Pfeiffer in the Northamptonshire League for Jack Fuller, for Geddington. And then also for Luke Phipps for for Overston Park. So yeah, there's some Pfeiffers going on there, but it looks to me as though they've all come out of the T20 and they haven't quite got going yet. It's not exploded onto the scene, has it?
Well, I think Overston Park, Rushton, probably the big game of the day in terms of runs. Overston 332, and both Ben Sales and Ram Patel with 104. Ben's with his 104 off 75 is pretty T20, isn't it?
Yeah,
Not a huge amount from Rushton, a fairly consistent car, but Ben Payne top scoring 53. Luke Phipps with his 5 for 55 was fantastic for Overston. Yeah, the Peterborough Town Loddington game was pretty high scoring as well. And then yeah, the rest were around the 150, 200 mark, like you said.
absolutely. Now, I'm just going to jump. I need to find something from yesterday before I talk about it, because I'm going to talk about something that I wasn't going to talk about, but it's worth doing. I'm going to take a quick jump back to the Northern Pyramid and just talk about a couple of games that happened yesterday that we wouldn't normally talk about the issue, but being in the 40 over League Cup, there were just a couple of things that stood out for me. So, Preston being bowled out by Blackpool for 40 at Stanley Park, and Blackpool winning by 7 wickets. I think it's fair to say it's worth mentioning that. But then you see Kendal, who've got a National Club Championship game next weekend to play, 40 overs, scoring 359 against Penwitham. Now, as warm-ups go, I think that's pretty decent there, with Bowman scoring 115, Abraham 78, Freddie Fallows 29. That's a nice warm-up for a big game next weekend. But the one that I can't discount is Longridge, who, having been absolutely hammered by Garstang on Saturday, went out in the 40 over game yesterday and scored 447 for 4, with a certain Mr. Matt de Villiers scoring 247 off 88. 23 fours, 22 sixes, strike rate of 281.
That's a demoralising day when the weather's as it is, isn't it? When it's 30 degrees and the ball's just flying all over the park and you're fetching it from back gardens and bushes, and yeah,
you're being chased around. Yeah, I mean, the irony is the openers, would you believe, Josh Mullen and Reece Morgan, they got them off to a flyer. They got them off to 115 for 1. So already Worley would have been thinking this is going to be a tough one. And then coming in at number 3, Matt de Villiers, 247 off 88 balls. But Matt doesn't hit our website, doesn't hit our records, because it's a 40 over game, it wasn't actually Prem. But sometimes these things have to be pointed out because that's some game that is there. And it's great to see some of the guys who are in the National Championship having games on the Monday in the 40 over cup, readying themselves for next weekend. And the last 64, it all starts to add up quite quickly then, doesn't it? So let's have a look at another league. It's going to be just down the road from us where we talk 400s. The Birmingham and District Premier League yesterday, where Ombersley and Barnard's Green between them scored 705 runs for the most runs in any Premier League game over the weekend. But it was a bit one-sided in the end, Hugh.
Yeah, it was another. I mean, it wasn't. Well, no, Monday was a stinker, wasn't it? So it was another hot chase. Not a hot chase, a hot day chasing balls around the field. Obviously 4-3-7 for 6 on Monday. That's painful, isn't it? Sunil Gunaratne, I think is the pronunciation, 142 off 100 balls. Hammond with 130, not out off 72. With the main damage makers there, and Barnard's Green weren't able to make many dents. Max Bennett did well comparatively with 2 for 54 and 10. But yeah, not many people able to stop the runs. But yeah, we've got a long card from the weekend because we've got games through Saturday and through Monday. So we're starting Saturday, running through Shrewsbury, Kenilworth Wardens. Shrewsbury put up 191 all out. A team effort creeping to 191 top score. Both Will Parton and George Hargrove for 29. Tommy Rex, nice to see his name up on the bowling cards there, 2 for 38. And Kenilworth Wardens got there in the last over. Good finish, 195 for 7. Harry Johnson top scored with Oliver Dandy, 51 and 48 respectively. But yeah, they got the job done, but it was a little tighter than probably they would have quite liked. Nolan Dorridge, they put 266 for 8 on the board on Saturday, and Dorridge weren't able to get there. Danielle Khan, 99, was the top scorer for Dorridge, but it wasn't enough to get it done. They were bowled out in 40 overs. Sam Wood, 4 for 32 for Dorridge. Tom Davis with a 5 for 35 for Nolan Dorridge. In reply, Smethwick Barnard's Green, Smethwick 270 all out, very nearly made it to 50 overs, so they went down swinging. Bilal Shafayette, still going strong. Kadir Ali and Deepak Khatri, pretty useful top 3 there. 114, 41, 40 respectively. Got Smethwick to 273. Ryan Tung for Barnard's Green put up 76. He was top scored, but they fell 11 runs shy of the total. Deepak Khatri 4 for 57 to go along with his 40. Puts him in our all-rounder contention for the week. Ombersley on Saturday played Moseley. Moseley batted first, put 253 on the board. Andy Umeed with 106. But Ombersley got there relatively comfortably with 5 overs to go. Seth Essenhigh with 50 not out. Tom Hinley with 50 off 56 balls. Both of those were pretty quick. Got the job done. Comfortably there, 4 wickets in hand. Hales Owen on Saturday, they put up 286 all out. Simon Gregor with 80 top scored. Felix Haynes got 6 for 60 for Harborne. Harborne weren't able to get there, though they fell sort of 16 runs shy of their total. Ben Shepperson, 112. Was the top scorer. Nobody else really went with him. Harry Byrne, 4 for 50 for Hales Owen, did the damage in his 10 overs. And then the last game on Saturday was Himley Bark Green. Himley 214 for 8. Cam Jones 69 off 54. And then Bark Green fell in a bit of a heap. Daniel Meredith and Jack Warner both hit 30s, but nobody else able to stay with him. Matt Evans 3 for 23 off 6 overs was the leading bowler there, but Ollie Walker's 2 for 17 off 7 was very tight indeed. So that takes us through to Monday. Obviously hot conditions, and the runs sort of went up a little bit. It wasn't too bad, I suppose. Maybe some used pitches knocking around. I don't know, but Barn Green 331 for 2. That's tough, isn't it? BJ Chapman Lilly 106 off 135. Henry Cullen 105 off 108, and Amrinder Brar 102. So yeah, everyone's chipped in there. Just looking at the scorecard for that game, we just jump into that one. Yeah, you got the 2 openers and the number 3 all getting hundreds, and then nobody else getting a bat. So it was a tough game all round. My scorecard doesn't quite match up what happened there. Oh, look. Oh, he's run out. Of course he is. Yeah, sorry, he got run. It must have been run out off the last ball. It was just Amrinder Brar. So he's thrown his red ink away. 102 off 54 balls for him. It's a decent effort, isn't it? Jump back.
He's clearly come in and just had a bit of fun. When Amrinder Brar's come in, they were already 177 for one. And he's coming in, as you say, 102 off 54 balls and just had some fun, basically.
That's it. Not bad thing to do on a hot Saturday, and a hot Monday. And then on Monday we got Shrewsbury Harborne. Shrewsbury put at 258 all out. They fell sort of three overs short of making the target, and it proved to be the difference really. Finn Jones 77, George Hargrave with another useful score. Dusty Melton with 40 not out. Rayan Khan 4 for 42 was the pick of the bowls for Harborne. And then Alex Kervesi did the damage. He's not always available on a Sunday, but he is on a Monday. So he's 140 not out was crucial in Harborne getting there pretty comfortably with 3 overs to go. Nolan Dorridge hails Owen. Nolan Dorridge put up 260. Ethan Burlescone after a shift from Derbyshire League. He got 102. Is that his first 100 for Nolan Dorridge?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah. Hamza Sheikh 52. And then Hales Owen fell. Quite a way short, 60 runs short after getting bowled out in the 44th over. Hamza Sheikh with 2 for 23 to go along with his 50. Ombersley Barnard's Green, that was the game we mentioned, with Ombersley hitting a huge amount of runs and Barnard's Green not getting close. Smethwick put up 227 for 9 and 50 overs against Dorridge. Bilal Shafayat again with a useful contribution, 80 off 106. And then Deepak Khatri cleaned up Dorridge 3 for 36. Gurbaj Singh with 2 for 26 as well. Finished Dorridge off. And then Mosley put 257 on the board all out. And Mosley didn't quite get there. They fell 6 shy of the total, so 7 to win. So a really, really tight game in there, 50 overs. Ben Robinson got 4 for 40 for Himley, which restricted them in his 10 overs. Ollie Walker got 2, but went for a few. Ollie Westerbury was the match winner for Himley with the bat, 78 off 110.
And that's 6 games gone now in the Birmingham District League, and unbeaten at the top, Smethwick. They've already got a 2-game gap over Nolan Dorridge there. Nolan Dorridge have lost 2 games. Himley have lost 2 games. So have Barnard Green. But at this early stage, 6 games in, to have to be 2 games ahead effectively. And I'm not saying they look unbeatable, because clearly everyone can be on the day. But like you say, that top 3 or 4 in particular, they seem to be rocking and rolling for them, Hugh, don't they?
Yeah, and they're a strong side, aren't they? So they're going to be very tough to beat. We'll see how the season pans out, but yeah, it's difficult to look past them at the moment. Yeah,
it looks ominous, definitely, without a doubt. And they've got a big game coming up on Sunday, National Club Championship away at their fellow Birmingham District team, Shrewsbury. So our friend Dusty Melton will be piling in, I'm sure, and hoping that he can whistle a few Deepak Khatri's eyes and wherever else. But yeah, that's a tough gig for Smethwick to go out to Shrewsbury. But it's that's what you got to do in the National Club Championship. You've got to play these big games, haven't you?
Yeah, you'd think they'll have enough to beat Shrewsbury based on Shrewsbury's current form, but you never know.
40 over game, just a little bit shorter. And as anyone who ever talks to us about this, it's amazing how different it is, a 50 to a 40 over game. They can all just 50 to 20 quite comfortably. 50 to 40, it's something that they've got to think a lot harder about. When do we go? When do we hold back? So it is a different type of game altogether for them.
I'm a big fan of 40 over, especially when it's hot.
And me, 100%. That's the first 2 leagues out the way. Obviously, we're not going to talk about the North Hampshire League table, because Find and Dolben obviously top, having won, and there was only the first game there. Let's go over to our friend at Cric, Mr. Matt Taaffe, who can't be with us today for very good family reasons. It's really nice to see that he's doing that first and foremost, but he has recorded with us what's been going on with the Cric boys over the weekend. So here we are with Mr. Matt Taaffe of Cric, and sun's out, Taaffe, and the runs have been out, haven't they, without a doubt, mate?
Not for me.
We won't talk
for the
about
rest,
that.
yeah.
We won't talk about. Did you enjoy going up to number 3 for one ball?
Yeah, I did. Just wouldn't mind it being a bit of a better pitch. And first ball kept low, back of the shin. I didn't even let the appeal and the finger go up. It was that out. I
Oh,
just started walking. But yeah, so yeah, up to number 3, get me back down the order.
absolutely. Meanwhile, the Cric X boys, the 2 top batters in one game. Have you ever seen that before?
No, I think it is a first, and it was just runs galore in the Notts Prem, wasn't it?
It
Attenborough against
was.
Clipstone.
Yeah.
Like I say, touched on it before, but with 163 leading the way of 144 for Attenborough's overseas, Sri Lankan. Parakrama, like you say, massive innings, 163, big partnership as well. I think there was another fellow that got 100 in that game. And then Kyle Stevens, a British passport holding New Zealander, goes and tops him 153 off 89 second innings. Just ridiculous scores, ridiculous game. Just 300 plays 300. Yeah, silly. But yeah, plenty of runs up and down the country. Will O'Donnell, another 100 for Dulwich. 140 this time off 116 balls. I think that's 3 in a row for Will. Serious batter and just performs year on year.
Yeah.
Jeet Ravel, first 100 on UK soil since his return for Haslingden, 135, not out. Jehu Anderson, I think that's his 4th 100, 128 for Wellingborough Town. 4th 100 in 5 innings. Just ridiculous numbers. Oscar Jackson, we touched on it pre-season as one to watch. He went a massive 150 odd on debut. And then a Friday night T20. I know it's a T20, but it deserves a bit of a shout for Bradshaw.
Absolutely.
117 off 36. Again, just ridiculous batting. Iffield, Raminder, Wijesuria. Again, I've probably pronounced that wrong, but he's got 105 for. So a proper day out for him, but plenty more hundreds to talk about, to be honest, but I won't go through on the ins and outs. It's just been a big weekend for runs.
Yeah, and it's great to see some of those names that we know really well just popping up. Is there Will O'Donnell? I think it's 3 back-to-back tons now. Jeet Ravel, as you say. Sharon Fonseca down the road from here, Denby scoring good runs there. And then our old friend Shreyansh Ghosh. You know, we've seen that name over the last couple of years quite regularly. And I've said it to Hugh, cream rises to the top when the weather's there, isn't it? Without a shadow.
Yeah, definitely. Just shows where I am in terms of ability.
Let's talk about bowlers instead, because whilst there was a couple of 8-fers out there in the Premier Leagues, you didn't quite get to that level with your boys, but still some good numbers, aren't there?
Yeah, still good numbers. Again, plenty 5-fers, couple of 6-fers. Leading the way is Gultown's Sri Lankan overseas, Gian Niroshan. He's gone 6 for 16 on Saturday and then 4 for 30 on Monday. So he's gone big, 10 wickets in the weekend. Abhishek Reddy, 6 for 31 for Wem. He's turning heads down there. It was with the bats. I think he got 80 odd and 6 for, so he's just an absolute class act. And I'm still interested to see how many runs he ends up with come September. Low Andy Zoyser, 5 for 26 for Bolden. Like you say, we touched on Raminder's 105 for Iffield. Nishan Perez, 5 for 35. I think that is 3 in a row for Nishan. Could be wrong. But yeah, just a serious signing for Exton. And like you say, they'll be pushing up for Premier League cricket next year, no doubt, with him leading the way with the ball. But yeah, 5-fers and then just them 2 6-fers for our boys this weekend.
I think we need to recall this section the Abhishek Reddy Watch, because you're right. I've just checked now. He's got 568 runs at 189 average at the moment for Wem. I'm going to say he should be playing a level or 2 above there.
Yeah, he's a class act, and I'm sure I've mentioned it in previous pods. If you've not seen him bat, just head on to his Instagram or something. It's proper old school, keeps the bat on the floor until the ball's released, really. and then it just goes. But yeah, he's serious player. He's like every Indian. You do miss him for 2 or 3 weeks during that middle patch.
Yeah.
For some T20 cricket over in India. So, but I'm still backing him just to carry on absolute churning. But we're getting message requests and message sent in to us saying, I had the pleasure of watching him this weekend. And yeah, so he's obviously turning a lot of heads down that way. But yeah, serious talent.
Can he get Wem out of the Shropshire League, though? That's the question, because they're in that pyramid. They've got to get up there. Is somebody else going to look at him and go, hang on a minute, get him across there? I think one of the things that's really interesting, in particular on your numbers now, and I like that you guys have updated this now, having that BP against Kyle Stevens' name on the number, it's a giveaway then. British passport holder. He can go and play for any county he wants.
Yep. Same with Oscar Jackson at Bradshaw. Obviously, he's contracted with Wellington, but again, he's British passport or ancestry visa. So again, he's free to be sort of picked up and for counties to have a look at him. And why wouldn't you wax it and bowls a decent pace with the ball? But yeah, so like you say, it's sort of free reign really with these British passport holders. You can see why they are such high in demand throughout the winter months, really.
Yeah, you've got a couple of them who it wouldn't be surprising to see them pop up in the maybe in the Metro Bank later in the year, or even do a Matt Boyle, who's been picked up by Middlesex. In the last few weeks, New Zealand international, A star. He's been put into their T20 side, and I think that could be somewhere that we could look at over the next few months and think we remember that one. We've seen Joe Pocklington make his T20 debut in the last couple of weeks. We saw Andrew Neil from Harpenden and Hertfordshire make his debut last night for Hampshire in the T20 Blast. Some of these names that we've been talking about are just started to creep up, and I think counties have got, shall we say, their eyes open a little bit more, haven't they, at the moment?
Yeah, rightly so as well. They're just class acts, aren't they? They're sort of too good for club cricket, and they deserve to get the chance at that first class county level. So it's great to see.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks for the update, Matt. Got a big one coming up this weekend for you guys, haven't you? You've got your old rivals, Kendal.
Yeah, we got your mates coming to Stanley Park. So it's our past Players' Day, so it should be a busy day and a good day. Hopefully the weather stays like it is. It was nice to just play in a short sleeve t-shirt and not lob a couple of jumpers on, to be honest. But yeah, see how we go this weekend, and hopefully I can get off the mark.
Absolutely. And, got to say it, we've talked off that Northern Prem, utter madness this year, isn't it?
Yeah, crazy. Everyone's beating everyone. You're one win off top, you're one loss or sort of points difference off relegation spots. So it's like you say, it's just more than ever to be who's going to be the most consistent throughout the year will finish up top. So win your home games and see where you get to away from home. But yeah, it's just ludicrous. Again, 10 team up north doesn't work, but and that's for another pod.
Absolutely, 100%, mate. Hey, thanks for the update.
All good.
Thanks to Matt Taaffe for that roundup of the Cric boys. And the one at the top of the list there, we've got to talk about that innings of his yesterday. So, Parakrama Tanakun, 163 off 144 for Attenborough in the Nottinghamshire Premier League, Hugh. You put yourself in a decent position when you're at 325 for 350 over game. But Clipston had different ideas. And with Kyle Stevens, 153 off 89 and getting 12 runs off the final over, they won by 4 wickets, Clipston, for the biggest chase of the weekend. And anytime you're chasing down 300, that's some chase, isn't it?
Absolutely. And we're talking Cric there, but well, Carl Stevens, as I assume Matt Taaffe will have just mentioned in his glorious segment, is also a Cric boy. So you've got the Cric bat off there, and Parakarama Thenakun 163, Carl Stevens 153. His strike rate of 171 was pretty impressive, especially as he didn't get a huge amount of support other than Adam Dutton with a very handy 70. So yeah, that was a fantastic innings from Carl Stevens. He's a young Kiwi, I'm led to believe. So I think he's 21. So he's be interesting to see what he does. But you can always trust a Kiwi, can't you? They just do the job, the Kiwis.
Yeah, 100% definitely. And both of those guys, surprise, surprise, they were in the top 10 over the weekend, with Parakrama Tennakoon in the 4th place in the top scorers in the Premier League across the country, and Kyle Stevens in 6th place. Got to talk about the guy in between them, though. Friend of the show, joined us in the winter down from Australia. Young Finn Gordon with another big chase down there in the Surrey League. Normandy, who've got off to a difficult start since their promotion. You're scoring 291 for 7. But then Guildford, with 7 overs to spare, chasing them down 293 for 3. Finn Gordon, 155 not out off 132 balls. This is the perfect example of a player coming back from Australia, absolutely flying at the start of the season, Hugh.
Yeah, I also think is if you look at his batting card, it's also the perfect example of a player coming back from Australia, because it's gone, oh my God, it's cold 4. Oh my God, it's cold 4. Oh, it's a bit warm at 20, and then 190, 155. So yeah, he's just put some scores together now. So yeah, 345 runs in the last 3 matches, including a big red inker. He's hit some form, hasn't he? So yeah, let's see where he goes this year, because we know what a quality player he is.
Yeah, most definitely. Hey, let's look at one of the other leagues that we've got to look at this week, and we'll stay down south. We've just done Surrey, but that game is Surrey. Let's go down to the very south coast, to the Sussex League, where, yeah, as always in the Sussex League, there was decent amount of runs across the board. In fact, only one game where the sides didn't make over 200, but that's because West Chiltington and Thackenham, who'd been promoted, they beat Horsham quite comfortably. So Horsham, the champions, 173 for 9 off their 50. And West Chiltington and Thackenham chased them down in 24.4 overs, Hugh. God knows what that score would have been if they'd been on their own there.
Well, it's a useful score for him, isn't it? Yeah, Charlie Tier, I think that's how we pronounce it, was the leading run scorer in that one. So I just clicked off it. Yeah, 106 off just 53 balls. Charlie is a full Scotland international. He's averaging 30 in ODIs, but played a bit for Sussex as well. There seems to be a bit of a Sussex-Scotland connection, actually. England under-19s represented as well as Scotland under-19s, which is very confusing. But yeah, he's a useful cricketer, is that boy. And he's 106, got the job done very comfortably for West Chiltington against Horsham. Nick Oxley was top scorer for Horsham, 42, but nobody else really did any damage. Oliver Whitehead, 3 for 33 for West Chiltington. Great start from them. Hastings, St Leonard's Priory, Caleb Lalou, 75, and Sean Johnson, 71 not out. They put up 275 for 9, but that wasn't enough to get Haywood Heath's 288 for 6 in their 50 overs. So yeah, a top win for Haywood Heath there. Balaj Khan, 84, Freddie Wallace, 81, and nobody really getting above 2 wickets in the match. Yeah, Roffey got a comfortable win there, bowling Middleton out for 213, and then Roffey getting it with 10 overs to go. Finn Roberts, 103 not out, was the main contributor there. Toby Munt, 3 for 46 with the ball for Roffey. Not a huge amount from Middleton's bowlers. Three Bridges, Cockfield put up 221 all out, and Three Bridges got it very, very comfortably with 20 overs to go. Luke Beaufort, 98 not out of 61 balls, doing an awful lot of damage. Aaron Brown with 3 for 58 with Three Bridges main bowler there. And then Preston Nomads, Bogner put up 258 in 50 overs. Oliver Dabinet Jays, 54, and Taylor Jaycox also 54. Archie Lenham, 3 for 55 for Preston Nomads. Archie Lenham also got 73 in the reply, but they fell a reasonable amount short, 20 odd runs short, but with plenty of overs to go, so that could have gone to the wire.
Yeah.
And Josh Sargent with 4 for 28 off his 10 was the main damage there. So a good win for Bognor Regis there.
Yeah, a couple of things I picked up along the way there. So Luke Beaufort, 98 not out of 61 for Three Bridges. He had the pleasure of making his debut last week for Cheshire in a showcase game against Derbyshire. Didn't do himself any harm there. Just a nice 420-mile round trip from Three Bridges to Nantwich. Of all the people for me to bump into when I go to Nantwich, we've got somebody from Three Bridges. It doesn't add up, but hey ho. And below him, he only scored 28 on Saturday, but gotta say, congratulations to Matt Boyle, who was last week named in the Middlesex T20 squad. New Zealand A international, so he's now making that next jump up. And we love seeing these players come from Premier League and getting these opportunities to play. And hopefully we get to see him playing some games for Middlesex in the coming weeks as part of the T20 squad. And the other thing I've got to point out there in the Sussex League, and I hate doing this, but the champions are the only ones, Horsham, not to have won a game yet. 3 games down, 3 losses. That is, I hate to say it, the sort of defence of a championship that my own wonderful Liverpool would be proud of right now, because we were crap as well this season. Not a good start there, Hugh.
No, just one thing that's a little bit frustrating from my point of view. You've got Matt Boyle obviously being picked up is brilliant. It's lovely to see guys getting opportunities, but I suppose a little bit frustrating for maybe all the other Premier League cricketers in the land that you get overseas pros coming in. Look, they do have first class experience, they have professional experience, and he's a quality player.
Yeah,
but you wouldn't say that his Matt Boyle's Premier League form is getting him picked by Middlesex. He's not had a chance to do anything, and he had a very decent season at Three Bridges in 2024. But what you would like is maybe rather than just jumping straight to the overseas, again, they have the pro pedigree. You'd like, if someone's putting up the same kind of numbers in the Premier Leagues, that maybe they get a chance ahead of the overseas. I don't know. It's a difficult one. You can see it from the Middlesex. They want someone who's experienced in going out on the big occasions. All the rest of it, they're not going to be overawed. So it's very easy to jump to an overseas. But it'd be nice maybe if someone is knocking it out of the park who's maybe age 25 to go, come to our T20 side. And watching the start of the Blast, one thing that is abundantly clear is there are teams missing ball strikers. There are teams missing guys that can clear the ropes, and I'm including the likes of Knots in this. There's a need for clean hitters, and those clean hitters aren't necessarily going to be your best first class cricketers or your list A cricketers, but there is a need for guys who can hit a clean, long ball. Derbyshire picked up Amrit Basri, didn't do a lot on Friday night, but he's the kind of guy that I think is missing from the T20 Blast, who can just come in and hit 25 off 8 balls and change the dynamic of an innings. I feel like there's plenty of those players playing Premier League cricket. Whether we can, start a little bandwagon for something like that, because I don't know. The Blast looks a little shy in its opening weekend of hitters. Back in the day, obviously the world has changed, the money's changed, but Aaron Finch, I always think of Aaron Finch playing in the Blast and just sending the ball out of the grounds on a regular basis. Alex Hales, players like that, they don't seem to be quite there. Zach Crawley had an absolute blinder, actually. Good on Zach Crawley. He was the one who stood out from the weekend, just booming it, and playing with a lot of freedom. So good for Zach. That's that. We want a bit more of that, but I reckon there's a lot of big hitters knocking about in the Premier Leagues that could do a job in the Blast.
Yeah, well, if you look at someone like Amaris Khan at Nola Dorridge, he's a very young player clearly, but we know that he hits a bloody long ball. A Warwickshire have played 2, lost 2. Why not go down that route? We've seen that Knots have given. I was there on Friday. They've given Joe Pocklington his Vitality Blast debut now, and what a pleasure to be there Friday when actually he was given his county cap by the Lincoln coach Eddie Burke as well. It was really, really nice to see that. Obviously, great for Joe. We're really proud to have been, one of the sets of people who've really bigged him up over the last couple of years there. But it looks comfortable. These are guys coming out of Premier League cricket, looking more than comfortable. We've seen it with Thomas Rue last week, scoring 90-odd, dropping down towards the St Andrews, and then Thomas Rue and James Rue taking some at home on a game on Thursday night. The quality's there, the hitting's there. If I look at the weekend alone, John Oswell with 177 at the weekend up in for Burnopfield, 16 sixes. That's the type of guy where you go, what would happen if you put a pro bowler in front of him in the blast? Is he going to do exactly the same? Unless you give him a go, you don't know, do you?
It's hard. It's hard to pick them out, isn't it? There's so many guys playing Premier League cricket, and statistically, you can't pick them out based on statistics. I wonder if it's something we could go to the clubs, go to the captains, and say, who would you think could do a job in T20 cricket, and we can get a little watch going on them, get some video, and just see if we can I don't know. We didn't do it with Joe. Joe was on everyone's radar, but we certainly spotted that there was a talent there. But that was, I think, you could see that from the way his statistics were going, that there's a talent there. I think 20s and 30s off 10 balls don't stand out and they're not, the T20 cricket that's getting played at club level isn't quite right. The pitches aren't right. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Maybe we can do something, I don't know, put our heads together and we could start a TV series, T20 Blast Star. Yeah.
Do you think Simon Cowell will get behind it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's a big fan of Nolan Dorridge.
Big fan of Nolan Dorridge. Did you hear that there, boys? That again could be one for the future, definitely. So, hey, it was great weekend's cricket all around. I've got to say congratulations to somebody else as well over the weekend. Our favourite cricket kid, the only cricket kid, Jackson Bentley, his first Premier League 50 at Nantwich. Congratulations, mate. Really impressed with that. Anybody stepping up at that age and scoring a 50, doing a job there. And we know the Cheshire League's a tough league. You're up against some really quality bowlers there, lots of NCCA quality there. So good on him, and hopefully be one of plenty, unless he gets scooped to play further up the Lancashire route, like Mr. Joe Moores, who just looks like 17 years old. He looks as though he's been doing it for about 20 years already, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's interesting to see him jumping straight in there. But see how he goes. There's a couple of other people I want to pick at. Somebody my lad played against the other day, or played with, and a lad called Dipesh Sapkota at Cavs. He took 4 for 38 on the weekend, and my lad gave him a glowing report. Really nice lad as well. So yeah, he's playing Premier League cricket at age 15. He's already got off to a fly. But I think the funniest one, and he won't listen to this, but it's just funny. Another lad that another lad that my lad plays with, a lad called Ethan Wilde, made his Premier League debut for Mansfield Hosiery Mills. His Derbyshire coach was also playing in the game. His coach got 3, Ethan got 30 against Colin. They did lose Mansfield, but I think scoring 10 times as many as your coach deserves for a big round of applause. So congratulations to Ethan Wilde. Big shout out there, because he's a real talent, Ethan. And it's just lovely to see him jumping into Premier League cricket and starting off so well.
Is this where we say what you played at, Mark, letting your students actually outdo you by that much?
I think it's a sign of Mark Smallwood's quality. I think he's down there with the 3s now. He talks a good game, does Mark? No, he's a brilliant Mark. I tell you what, he's a really good coach. He's really good with the kids. He's been around Derbyshire for a good few years. I don't quite know what his title is now, but he does a cracking job. He hits that lovely balance between having fun with them, but also being a real sense of authority with the lads. So I won't slag him off too much. But it's excellent that Ethan's got 10 times as many runs on him.
So yeah, we're going to head up to that league that we've just talked about, where Jackson Bentley scored his first 50 of Premier League cricket. And it was the Cheshire League, which there were some good runs around the Cheshire League, left, right and centre there, Hugh, wasn't there?
Yeah, I feel like the Cheshire League's not sort of popped up on my radar too much this year. So
I agree.
Obviously, we've not covered it in detail, but yeah, it's maybe there's no massive scores that I can think of. So maybe that's why it's just not jumped into our heads. But yeah, it was a busy weekend, and it's obviously a very high quality league indeed. Brooklands Hyde, I'll start with. Brooklands 211 for 8 in their 55 overs. Kevin Carroll, 101 not out off 90 doing the job as always. But Hyde got there relatively comfortably, and then 46 overs it took them to get 213. Kobe Fitzsimmons with 97 off just 62 balls did all the damage. Andrew Jones with 39, a gritty 39 off 92 balls, sort of anchored it. And then Kobe's just come in and boomed it. Rob Leach 4 for 47 off 17 overs. But a very solid win from Hyde. Chester Broughton Hall, they put up 292 for 7. Alex Money 51, Jack Williams 47, Phil Stockton with 3 for 76 against Nantwich, and Nantwich have bowled out in 52 overs. Luke Robinson, and there's that Jackson Bentley with 65 from 70. I mean, when you get young lads coming in and hitting 65, and it's the strike rate's right up there as well, they're a good player, because obviously Jackson's an experienced cricketer. He's played a lot of cricket, but he's still only 15. So for him to be able to keep up with strike rates across the league is fantastic work. Jack Williams got 5 for 79 in his 17 for Chester Broughton Hall. Timperley versus Oxton. The one thing that is unusual in Cheshire League is to get winning draws because it's very much for a draw league where you can get a draw. There are very few draws, and a bit like Liverpool as well. But so Timperley put up 299 for 8. Dan Scholes 78, Joe Ashmore 63, Chris Stenhouse with 3 for 79 for Oxton. Oxton they made it to 186 for 8, but didn't get anywhere close. But hung on for the draw there. Lindo Didsbury was also a draw. Didsbury 335 for 8. That was a really, really big score and the largest in the league on the weekend. Chris Becker 98, fallen 2 short. Joe Cook 48, Nick Anderson 46, and then Lindo with Charlie Hodge 68 not out. Missed the mark by 95 runs and hung on for a draw, 6 down. And then Cheadle bowled out for 183. Harry Donlan with 33 was the top scorer, but nobody else really able to chip in. Josh Dulder 3 for 46, Dan Brown 3 for 24 with the top bowlers for Cheadle, who got it pretty comfortably, although it took him a while. Subhan Mahood 55 not out of 132 balls, anchoring things home. Dan Brown with 53 and Jasper Wong with 52. Matt Stewart with 1 for 12 was the best, but that was in 8 overs, so a very tidy spell from that. Wasn't rewarded. Oldley Edge 228 for 9 against Bramall. Bramall got bowled out in 50 overs trying to chase it down. Jack Clark, 121 for Bramall. Great effort from him because nobody went with him. Chris Sanders 4 for 61 for Oldley Edge was the best bowler there, and then the Oldley Edge batting was pretty consistent. Chris Sanders 53, Sam Perry 52, Jadara Reddy with 28, but Ryan Iocci with 4 for 55 was the best Bramall bowler.
And the name I'm going to pick out there straight away, we've just been talking about 6 hitters, Mr. Gennaro Reddy, playing for Oldley Edge. So I had the pleasure of watching Gennaro last week play for Cheshire against Derbyshire. 56 against Derbyshire. Cheshire only got to 142, chasing a big total. We got 56, including 5 sixes. And that was off Derbyshire bowlers. That's got to be someone somewhere should go, hang on a minute, he's smacking around Derbyshire bowlers for 5 sixes. What's going off it? And he's of this parish, shall we say, because only a couple of years ago he was playing in Repton School first 11. Without a shadow, a hitter. Hasn't really got going this season until that game last week against Derbyshire, but there certainly runs in that name, isn't there, Hugh? Well,
it's also funny that you picked him out because he's popped up on loads of scorecards for me as well just recently. So whether that's just like you see a red Nissan, then all of a sudden you see 5 more red Nissans, maybe it's that. But yeah, he just seems to be consistent, popping up in a fair bit of second team cricket and other cricket at the moment. So yeah, we'll see where he goes.
Yeah, and also the other one that you've pointed out there, really pleased to see Kev Carroll. He got done by Jack Morley of Derbyshire last week, but he turned it around from Wednesday scoring 1 for Cheshire to 101 off 90 for Brooklands. It wasn't enough to win the game, but that's how you come back from a bit of a disappointing day, to say the least, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Shall we have a look at our favourite part of the week, when we look at all the top scorers, the top wicket takers, and the one we can argue about forever, the top all-rounders? Before we go anywhere, I've got to talk about the top all-rounder that we've got. Back-to-back tons for Toby Finlay from Woodhouse Grange.
137 and 4 for 60. That's going to be tough to beat this season, isn't it? I'm sure it probably will be, but it's that's a hell of a performance from Toby for Woodhouse Grange against Clifton Alliance. 104 balls for his ton there. Jumping across to the tons, though, Gregor Mackenzie, 182 for St Cross Simonians versus the Hampshire Academy in the Southern Prem. 182 off 107 balls. John Oswell for Burnetfield against Castle in the North East Prem, 177 off just 94 balls. 16 sixes in that one. Lost ball city over there. Ryan McKendry for Newfoundland against Farsley, 167 not out. A comparatively lazy 116 balls, just the 7 sixes. And then Pakarama Thenakun there, we mentioned already. Attenborough versus Clipston, 163 for Attenborough off 144 balls. Finn Gordon, he's got to mention already, his 155 not out for Guildford against Normandy. And there's the other game, another score in the Clipston Attenborough game, Carl Stevens with 153 off just 89 balls. So yeah, a really top set of run scores today. There's nobody with a ridiculously fast century as far as I can see. Just scanning down most people in the sort of 100 ball range. I'm just having a quick look.
Carl Stevens, 153, but off 89. That's about the quickest.
Yeah, just seeing if there's a 50 ball hundreds lurking here.
We're missing number 2 there, John Oswell, 177 off 94, including 16 sixes.
Yeah. Swarkston's Ajay Kunti as well. 62 ball, 103 not out was pretty sharp, wasn't it? That's probably the quickest. Oh, sorry. Amrinder Brar at Barton Green, 54 ball, 100. And that is probably the highest strike rate of the weekend in my quick glance. Oh, Charlie Tears, 106 not out off 53. So yeah, we've got a few fast ones knocking about. I think I need a chart of fastest hundreds, don't I? That's my next chart.
Yeah, definitely. So looking at those scores, as we say, there is definitely some cream rising to the top there. John Oswell, Ryan McKendry, Finn Gordon, Steve Bullen, Neil Hornbuckle. These are all names, and Alex Cavesi at the bottom. In that top 10, Hugh, we're starting to see those names really come through. And then I have to say, I was actually quite excited when it comes to the top wicket takers to see on Saturday the best bowling in the country by our old friend, Mr. Dieter Klein. 8 for 28 off 10 overs, but it wasn't the best of the weekend.
Well, if you can count Monday, so and there's also his is only off 10 overs as well. So Tahir Maqsood on Monday, he's got Sunday, sorry, 8 for 19. So that was pretty useful, but that's 15 overs. Norden against Burnley on Sunday. But yeah, Dieter Klein, 8 for 28. Rothley Park against Oakham. I was having a conversation with, I've got in mind 15 team. I've actually got a lad who's German heritage, mum's German. And I was pointing out that just down the road, if you want to go and see a German international, you can. And then a few days later, he pops up with 8 for 28. So it's lovely to see him. I think he was missing for the first couple of weeks, wasn't he? So I'm not quite sure what he was up to. But yeah, looks like he's hit his stride there. PJ Harris at Barnes Green, 746 against Smethwick in just 9.5 overs. There's the Madashanka, 6 for 5. That's not going to be that's going to be tough to beat that all season in terms of strike rate. Jake Gillette, 6 for 11 for Salby Town against Shepshed is number 5, and I'll chuck in the 6th one, having just pressed the wrong button there. Jack Fawcett, Royton against Edgerton, 6 for 20 in the GMCL in just 6 overs.
You can't not mention the one in number 8, though, can we? He's at it again. Samit Patel.
Yeah.
Hoyland Swain, 12 overs, 12 and a half overs, 6 for 25. But I've got to go back to Dieter Klein. So on Saturday, when I was looking to see which game was the fastest finish in the country, and bear in mind, we've already talked about a game that lasted just 30.1 overs, the Longridge and Garstang game. It was only just beat the game that Rothley Park were involved in, because Rothley Park rolled Oakham for 71 in 21.2 overs, which included that 8 for 28 from Dieter. Got to say, 0 for 26 from the skipper, Ollie Freckingham. Come on, Ollie. But then Sonny Patel, 44 not out, and Anish Patel, 15 not out, 74 for none. 9 overs. So the whole game was finished in 30.2 overs, just one ball longer than the Garstang versus Longridge game. Early finish, I think, is the best way to put it. And away you go, boys. Get to the bar, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a big one there. Yeah, just got lost in the Hoyland's Way scorecard there. You got Ben Curler-Cadmore at the top. He's got a duck. Furkan Shafiq, Abid Ali, who's pro. Chris Holliday, Luke Bridges, Samit Patel and Luke Bridges, neither of them getting a bat. Yeah, it's a side, that, isn't it?
It is a side. It's one that we'll always be keeping a very close eye on, as we do with our all-rounders, as we said already. Top of the all-rounders, Toby Finlay, Woodhouse Grange, 137 and 4 for 60 is pretty good. AJ Cunty, yeah, I've got a message about that one. Swarkston were very impressed with the hit in there, 103 off 62 balls. But some good names further down as well, Hugh.
Well, yeah, I mean, AJ Cunty with his 103 and 560 is a pretty impressive effort. That would be top most weeks, weren't they? But yeah, PJ Harris, you mentioned him. Finn Gordon's got some wickets as well. Will McVicker, 105 and 4 for 30. Shakran War, 55 and 6 for 36. And obviously, for some reason, Dieter Klein's popped in and he didn't even get a bat. So it's 28. I think I need to sort my all-rounders chart out. But yeah, it's a terrific weekend for the all-rounders.
So the big news there regarding Dieter Klein and Rothley Park is it's taken me a few weeks to work it out, because I didn't have a bloody clue where I was going to go this coming Sunday when it comes to the next round of the ECB National Championship. We get to the last 64, Hugh, round 2. But I decided yesterday afternoon, Rothley Park, 45, 50 minutes down the road from me, versus Hucknall and our friend, Mr. Dan Blatherwick, and the guys from Hucknall. Greg Willows has been in great form there. I decided that's the game I'm going to go to on Sunday. Be a nice little drive out, get down to Rothley, see what Dieter and Ollie and the boys can turn up on a Sunday against one of the top sides of the Nottinghamshire League. But we're down to that last 64, and there's some cracking games across the board, as always, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm just scanning down. Yeah, I mean, Driffield New Farnley is going to be good. York Barn, I mean, they're all good now, aren't they? South North Richmondshire, that'll be a game, won't it?
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Woodlands Donny, Oakbrook Salby, Woollerton Kimberley, Notts Premier League clash there. Cavs and Spondon, Notts and Derby versus Notts versus Derby. Yeah, that's the Rothley game you mentioned. Leyland, Northern, Prestwich, Kendal, Ormskirk, Horwich, RMI, Lee Wallasey, Shrewsbury Smethwick, we've mentioned that one already. Halezone, Didsbury, Nolan Dorridge versus Tamworth. So yeah, there's quite a few that we can get to, and then down the bottom, groups 9 to 12, Penzance versus Bath.
Massive
game, that, isn't it? Massive game. Bristol versus Bishopston, St Cross, Potton, Bridgewater, Paynton, Bunbury, Shepherd's Bush, Eat Molesey, Airfield, Middleton, High Wycombe, Sunbury, Teddington. And then in the last groups 13 to 16, Hornsey, Waltham, Colchester and East Essex versus Horsford. That'll be decent. Brentwood up against Loughton. Crouch End, Sawston. That'll be tasty. Nottington versus Sutton, Preston Nomads and Reigate Priory. That'll be interesting there. Esher playing Wimbledon as well. That'll be a fun one. Fancy a day out in London. Lordswood, Banstead is the last one on the list. So yeah, that's it's amazing how quickly the names get whittled down to not many left, isn't it? And they're all big games.
Yeah, all of a sudden you've got Crouch End who are scoring runs for fun in the Middlesex League at home to Sawston and Babraham, the East Anglia champions. Esher, who looked great this year against Wimbledon, the winners of the Surrey Championship last year. I think the one that your face was interested to look at, Penzance versus Bath. That's an absolute blockbuster, isn't it? Big drive down from Bath on the Saturday night, I'm assuming, with the boys.
Everything's a big drive, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think St Cross Simeons and Potter's quite an interesting game to look out for. And the one in Group 11 that I'm really interested in is Banbury from the home counties with Sam Fanning and the Russo guy and Hayden Russo playing against Shepherd's Bush from the Middlesex League. And this is where we're now starting to see some of the real top teams from each of the Premier Leagues going up against each other. If anything, The disappointment for me is in some of the northern groups where there's some teams that have been knocked out quite early doors are missing now. So, Prestwich, you knocked out Blackpool, but they've got an interesting game against Kendal. Will Kendal have a full strength side, or will the NCCA boys be playing elsewhere? That gives them a big, goes both ways there. And the same goes for the guys up in the northeast. That South North versus Richmondshire game, I reckon, is as big as it comes. Past champions there. But having been to see New Farnley against Horn and Swain in the last round, I think going up to Driffield's a really tough task. Depends what side Drift can put out there. But New Farnley, since they beat Horn and Swain, just seem to be starting to get some runs on the board now. And they were a bit of a powerhouse once they got moving last year. We're down to 32 after Sunday. It's mad, isn't it? All of a sudden, we're down to group finals on Father's Day on the third week in June. And it sounds ridiculous when we're only gone to week 6 of the Premier League, but it's getting exciting already, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're all big games. It's just an awful lot of fun. And just, you kind of want to be at all these games. I think we need to get the old match of the day style mixed, end relegation / championship cameras up on each game, don't we? And go through it. That'd be fun if they've all got live streams one day. But we can dream about that. But yeah, should be a lot of fun. I would really like to be down at Penzance for that one. If the weather's nice as well, even better. But yeah, I think the Penzance game could be an absolute humdinger.
Absolutely. Well, guys, Rothley Park, I'll see you over there. Hucknall will be there on Sunday. I will be taking video, I'll be taking photos, and obviously I'll be looking at scores around the country, left, right and centre, and just seeing who gets going really quickly on Sunday. That 40 over game is a different game altogether, and Horn and Swain showed how difficult it can be trying to chase down New Farnley the other week. These guys have got to adapt, and some of these guys, Hugh, like the East Anglia boys, have just gone into their timed cricket as well. So they've come out of the limited overs, gone into timed cricket, and it's a change, isn't it, that makes it interesting.
Yeah, well, I think they'll be fresh from their limited overs stint when so hopefully it shouldn't affect them too much. But yeah, no, a lot of fun to be had.
Absolutely. Great to chat as always. Premier Leagues well and truly up and running. 33 leagues on the go now. There may or may not be a show next week, everybody, because one of the hosts is on holiday. And sometimes we do need to take a break. And that way we need to sort of just keep you all ticking over the week after. We'll try and keep everything up to date as we can on socials as always. But otherwise, there's plenty to go at over the coming weeks. And we're getting to that stage of the season now when we're going to start and have one or two leagues being so wide open all of a sudden versus the ones that are just everybody's beating each other, Hugh, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think we need a bit of a Welsh focus. We did Northern Prem, but I feel like we need a Southern.
We've got Wales. It coming up in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, Southern. I feel like we need some, especially with the weather being nice. I always think of Wales when the weather's nice.
They got rained off, didn't they, the first week? That was the problem.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so we will get, as we've said before, we've split the groups, the leagues up into groups around the country, and we will do 4 or 5 leagues every single week. We can't do any more than that because there's so much to talk about week in, week out. So look forward to catching up with you next week or the week after, mate.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, mate.